Beginning our countdown list to spot number 10 is Rihanna. This one surprises me a lot because she is not usually one to make headlines for being the center of a controversy or scandal. But recently people have called her out, saying that some of her songs were disrespectful towards the Muslim community. Some fans online started calling her out for a song she used during the Savage x Fenty lingerie fashion show because it included sacred Islamic verses, and includes a remix of a hadith narration about the end of times and judgment day. The hadith is a written record of the sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad and is considered extremely sacred to Muslims. The fashion show included an apology with CNN and agreed that they should not have used it. They even said the tracks are being replaced and the show is going to edit it out. Rihanna also issued an apology on her behalf and apologized, saying that it was a careless mistake. But fans are saying that this is not something that should be let go. I don't know, to me I don't think it was meant to be problematic, but then she realized that it was, and she apologized. I'm just trying to be optimistic about everything nowadays because people are coming in hot on YouTube. Coming in next, number 9 is Dr. Phil. A lot of people would agree that he's done a lot of good things for people, but because of his platform as a doctor and a celebrity, he has to be careful with what he says and does. He caused a big controversy in recent times when he compared the COVID-19 deaths to car accidents, pool drownings, and smoking related illnesses. He was doing an interview with Fox News and said, "The fact of the matter is we have 45,000 people a year die from automobile accidents, 480,000 from cigarettes, 360,000 from swimming pools, and we don't shut down the country for that. And yet we are doing it for this, and the fallout is going to last years because people's lives are going to be destroyed." Now, he did say this near the beginning of the pandemic, and later he admitted that he misspoke and used some bad examples to make his point. But he caused a lot of damage online because it caused a storm for those people who had lost loved ones to this virus and those who felt that it was more serious than he was promoting at that time. He's putting his foot in his mouth now. Sliding into number 8 is Nikita Dragun. The beauty guru is always in the middle of some kind of drama, and the most recent controversy came after she asked her millions of followers which race she should be that day. Probably not a good question to ask people. People have called her out in the past for blackfishing after darkening her skin tone to a point where she looks like a completely different race. Nikita has explained that she is mixed race, saying her mom is Mexican and her dad is Asian, and denied artificially darkening her skin tone. She decided to make a joke out of these claims and tweeted out, "What race is Nikita gonna be today?" She immediately faced backlash from fans and even other influencers. A fellow black YouTuber, Nima Tang, tweeted back at her saying, "This shit is not funny." After seeing the backlash, she ended up saying she's tired of having to defend herself every day, but people said she wouldn't have to if she didn't make comments like this one. Or jokes, as she called it. Those are all the pictures. Making her way into number 7 is Amanda Bynes. She's been very problematic in the past, but I think there's a lot of us who are hoping she will get her career back on track. I know I am. She's had an ongoing struggle with drugs and mental illness, which has landed her in rehab centers and also in trouble with the law on a few occasions. Her online behavior has also been problematic in the past, like the time she started tweeting out horrible things about other celebrities, and even gave out disturbing and personal information about her own father. But she recently just made a comeback online, and people are curious how things are going to play out. I personally hope she's in a better place now and she can finally make this epic comeback, but people still have their doubts and concerns. She posted a new photo to Instagram rocking a totally new look and a new Instagram handle. It is now called Matte Black Online Store. Her lawyer recently said she's in the process of earning her bachelor's degree from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, and said she is thinking of launching a fragrance and clothing line. Halfway through at number 5 is Tana Mongeau. You can be a huge fan of hers and still admit that she's always putting out fires in her career with her wild actions and behavior. The most recent issue came after YouTube took away her verification, which is a huge deal for any YouTuber and means you have done something big to deserve that. Well, Tana tweeted out to her fans that if they sent her proof of them voting for Joe Biden, then she would send them a nude photo for free on her OnlyFans. Oh, that's such a Tana thing to do. People started accusing her of breaking the law because this could be considered as vote buying, which is a felony under federal law. Tana denied that she committed election fraud and said she was being sarcastic. She told Insider, "Obviously, no one needs an explicit photo of me to go vote and make a change in our country." She said that she never sent any photos to those who voted and that it was all just for fun to encourage people to go out and vote. But what do you guys think? I don't know if I'm buying that. I feel like she might have sent some pictures out and didn't realize that, it was like a law. Sniping the number 4 spot is Trisha Paytas. I honestly don't even know where to begin when it comes to Trisha Paytas. All the headlines I see about her are all very negative scandals that she's involved in. I honestly never see good press for her. She has caused outrage online many times, like the time she offended the LGBTQ community after claiming she's transgender because she is attracted to other gay men. She said, I quote, "I like guys, but I also identify as a guy if that makes sense." However, she still flaunts her female body parts, goes by her birth name, and uses female pronouns. Speaking of body parts, she recently found herself in another online storm after posting completely nude photos of her private parts on Twitter. Like literally, you see everything. I don't even know how it's allowed. Her behavior has always been very reckless and spontaneous, and most of the time, problematic. Yo, she posted her bare butthole. I'm not kidding. Like, how is that allowed on Twitter? I don't have a Twitter anymore, so I don't know. But she spread her cheeks and posted this photo, and it's like up there and it's live and like disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't ever want to see that. In the 3rd spot is Khloe Kardashian. The reason she is so problematic is actually a little bit ridiculous, but it can be understanding when we realize just how damaging her actions can be. She's not one to get involved in a lot of Hollywood drama, but recently people are having an issue with how much she's altering her images and appearances online. She was first caught for heavy Photoshop when she posted an Instagram picture and then did an interview for Keeping Up with Kardashians the same day, which exposed how different she looked in her edited photo. But in a more recent photo, fans started accusing her of blackfishing and said that she looks like she is doing a Beyonce cosplay. Realistically, there's no denying that Khloe does look like Beyonce in this new look. The only reason people have such an issue with it is because all the editing and Photoshop can be very damaging on the beauty standards in our society, especially her younger fans. Probably the reason why I use fake tanner half the time. I see people looking tan online, I'm like, ooh, damn, that looks good. Coming in to number 2 is Kanye West. All of his behavior in recent times has been extremely problematic, but people are sympathizing with him a little more since reports have said he is struggling with mental illness right now. He's gone on some pretty epic Twitter rants recently where he bashed his own wife publicly, posted a video of himself urinating on one of his Grammy Awards, shared photos of his confidential music contract, and tweeted out Forbes' personal contact information. On top of his personal life drama, he's also trying to become the next president and is doing anything he can to get elected. He recently shared an ad where he is encouraging his fans to add him into the election as a write-in candidate on the ballots. He then filed legal documents to lock down the rights to his campaign slogan, "God Save America," after sharing that he believes God will make him president and he wants to bring faith back to politics. Of course, with everyone sharing different beliefs, it has caused a ton of controversy. It's hard to say what his next move will be from here, which is why most of his moves are problematic. They just seem to be very bizarre and spontaneous these days. Next up in the number 1 spot is J.K. Rowling. I don't think anyone ever thought the Harry Potter author would cause so much controversy and drama in 2020, or ever really. She's not normally one to make bad headlines, but she has been facing a ton of backlash for comments that came off as transphobic. She wrote an entire blog about her feelings on sexuality, and a lot of people were hurt by some of her remarks. It also did not help her case after she recently promoted a store that sells anti-trans merchandise, some of their items saying trans women are men and woman is not a costume. The website is called Wild Women Workshop and is run by a founding member of an activist group called Get the L Out, which calls gender transitions a form of culture aimed at lesbians. So obviously, J.K. Rowling promoting this website on her social media is definitely problematic for a few different reasons, most of them being very obvious, and I don't think I have to explain why. Kicking off this countdown list, number 10 is Charli and Dixie D'Amelio. The TikTok stars and sisters are under fire after a YouTube video was posted on their family's channel. The video is the first one of a series called Dinners with the D'Amelios, and it featured the sisters and their parents eating a meal prepared by professional chef Erin May. In the video, Dixie starts gagging and even leaves the table to throw up after trying some of the seafood. Then later on in the video, Charli is seen talking about how she wants dino chicken nuggets instead. The video had over 8 million views, with the majority of comments calling them disrespectful and ungrateful. Soon enough, the entire Twitter universe and TikTok was calling them brats. Dixie ended up responding in a video where she said the video was taken out of context and that they know the chef well and always joke around together. She said the chef and the camera crew actually set it up for her to eat that because they knew that she would freak out and throw up. Some people are not buying her excuse though, and Charli has lost over 500,000 followers since that video went live. Up next, number 9 is Conor McGregor. The UFC fighter recently announced he is ending his retirement early and will be returning to fight on January 23rd. He remains the biggest star in the sport despite retiring for a third time in 4 years and only being 32 years old currently. He's also one of the few fighters who end up in the media all the time for starting drama or having a complete public meltdown. There's been a few occasions where fans have tried to take photos of him, but he ends up in a rage and just smashes their phones instead. Back in 2019, he was charged with strong-armed robbery and misdemeanor criminal mischief after he took a fan's phone from his hand and then smashed it on the ground. This was not the first time something like that happened. He actually attacked a bus containing rival UFC fighters and had to go to court for that too. He was ordered by the court to have anger management training and perform 5 days of community service. I think all fighters should have to go to anger management. It's a very angry sport. In spot number 8 is Max Eric. You have probably seen him in headlines recently for being Demi Lovato's fiance and then ex-fiance, all in a matter of 6 months. The two of them got together during quarantine and were only together for a few months when they announced their engagement. Everything seemed great, and from the outside looking in, they looked really happy. But after just a couple months being engaged, reports started surfacing saying that the two of them had split. Their split was super dramatic, but it was all on Max's side. Demi simply deleted their photos together from her social media and didn't make comments about it to the media. Max, however, he allegedly tried to contact all of her friends and family, staged paparazzi photos of him crying on the beach where they got engaged, and publicly slammed her on his live streams. There was a point where articles actually reported that Demi had gotten her lawyers involved because he would not leave her alone. She recently appeared at the People's Choice Awards where she made a joke about getting engaged and unengaged during quarantine, and Max responded online by commenting on her photos and posting a photo of him shooting the middle finger. Sounds like a classy guy. Sliding into number 7 is Scooter Braun. Probably heard about the legal battle Taylor Swift has been going through with this record executive. He works with some of the most popular artists in the world, and Taylor Swift was once one of them. But then Scooter started holding her music against her when she wanted to move forward from working with him. He legally owns all of her master recordings from the last decade of her career, and she's actively been trying to purchase them back from him, but has been unsuccessful. Because of that, she hasn't been able to perform those songs without his permission. It was recently announced that he had sold her master recordings, videos, and album art for $300 million without her knowing. This was actually the second time that it was sold without her knowledge. Taylor talked about it in a recent tweet where she posted the screenshot denying to working with the new company, who was still affiliated with Scooter, and said she has already started re-recording her old music. She actually plans on re-recording all of her old songs so that they will be hers and her old ones won't hold as much financial benefit for Scooter down the road. Although I feel like they might still. They were the originals. Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Belle Delphine. Cosplayer has a very successful career on YouTube, but she caused quite some scandals online after selling her bathwater and possibly even her urine. Back in 2019, she announced to her fans that she would be selling her bathwater. She announced it on her Instagram, writing, "I am now selling my bathwater for all you thirsty gamer boys." The jars of the bathwater actually went up on her site and was listed at $30 per jar. She called it Gamer Girl Bathwater. Many people were confused and a little bit grossed out, but there were also a lot of fans who purchased the product. So it may have been like a genius business move on her end. But then reports started saying that she was selling a jar of her urine for $10,000. People didn't know if it was a hoax or not because it was up on her website and included a description that said one lucky cutie fan would receive it and that it is only for sentimental purposes, not consumption. But then other reports said that that site was actually a replica of hers and she wasn't actually trying to sell her urine, so we're not really sure, but the bathwater is enough for me. In our third spot is Chris Pratt. This one will just depend on what you personally believe. I never saw the actor to be the controversial type, and he's never been one to get in petty celebrity drama, but the Guardians of the Galaxy star has been facing tons of backlash after one tweet started trending where people had to choose which Chris was the worst one. Amy Berg tweeted, "One has to go," and attached photos of Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, and Chris Pine. The innocent joke turned serious real quick after actress Ellen Page called him out for supporting a religious organization that reportedly discriminates against the LGBTQ community. The organization is called Hillsong Church, and in 2015, the senior pastor wrote in a post that the church welcomes all people but does not affirm all lifestyles, including the gay lifestyle. On top of that, people also exposed the fact that he might be a Trump supporter. He didn't attend the recent virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden, which was attended by all of his other Avenger co-stars. He hasn't openly said he voted for Trump. He's actually remained very silent on political views during this election, which has also made people believe even more that he did vote for him. This is all he said, she said, so it's up to you. Cruising into number 2 is Offset. The rapper has had a lot of haters in recent times because he's been caught cheating on his wife, Cardi B. She filed for divorce recently after he was allegedly cheating again, but then she dismissed the divorce and said she's going to continue working on their relationship. I think we can all agree that someone who continues to cheat on their wife obviously has problematic behavior. On top of that, he was recently arrested while driving through a Trump rally and Instagram live streamed it. The cops pulled him over and said they received reports that he was waving a gun outside the window of his car. He refused to get out of the car after they asked him to, so eventually the cops removed him, and at that point the live stopped streaming. Later on, the Beverly Hills Police Department tweeted a statement that clarified Cardi B's cousin, Marcelo Almanzar, was in the passenger seat of Offset's car and he was the one arrested for carrying a concealed weapon and also carrying a loaded firearm in public. However, even though it wasn't Offset who was holding the gun, he was still in the car and like a witness to it, basically. He knew what was going on. Taking over our number 1 spot is Lil Wayne. He's been quiet for the last while, which is why people were shocked to see him on stage with Donald Trump during his campaign in the recent 2020 election. But the backlash he received from that is nothing compared to what he is facing now after facing serious legal charges. 10 months ago, he was involved in a firearm case in which a handgun was in his luggage on a private plane. But only a few days ago was it announced that he was charged with gun possession and could face up to 10 years in prison if he is convicted. He was charged with criminal possession of a firearm and ammunition as a prior felony offender, so things are not looking too good for him. However, his lawyers are insisting that he did not use the firearm in the incident. They said there is no allegation that he ever fired it, used it, or threatened to use it. There is no allegation that he is a dangerous person. But back in 2009, he pleaded guilty to a felony gun charge as part of a plea deal, so we're not really sure what's gonna happen this time. Beginning our countdown to number 10 is Amber Heard. The details of her lawsuit against ex-husband Johnny Depp are probably enough reason to have her on this list. But it will depend on whose side of the story you believe. A lot of people are conflicted about their lawsuit and who they believe is telling the truth. Amber Heard has made some serious claims about domestic abuse, even though audio evidence captured her saying that she punched Johnny and that no one would believe his side of the story. So a lot of people have been against her in this court case, and they've actually started petitions to have her removed from the Aquaman 2 movie, which actually now has over 1.5 million signatures. People are more furious about the fact that there's actually evidence of her saying that she's been abusive, but that it is not being considered in court. But if people were mad before, they are going to be furious now because rumors broke this this week saying that she is being eyed for the role of Black Cat in the Marvel Universe. So it looks like people are gonna have to start a new petition. Next up at number 9 is Justin Bieber. The singer has been called problematic on numerous occasions throughout his career. Since he gained worldwide fame at a young age, he has had to grow up in the spotlight with everyone judging his every move. And a lot of decisions and behavior haven't been accepted by a lot of people. Most recently, people did not agree with the comments that he made about the Grammy nominations. The Grammy nominations list was officially released and Justin was actually nominated for 4 of them. He's nominated for Pop Vocal Album, Pop Solo Performance, Pop Duo/Group Performance, and Country Duo/Group Performance. Immediately after the list was released, Justin posted on Instagram that he is grateful for the nominations, but that his new album, Changes, is actually an R&B album, not pop. He wrote, "I am very meticulous and intentional about my music. I set out to make an R&B album. Changes was and is an R&B album. For this not to be put into that category feels weird." People took this message as complaining, and a lot of people disagreed with his claims and said that his album is not R&B. I'm sorry, Bieber, but I'm putting that under pop too. There's no way that's R&B. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't know. Sliding into number 8 is Drake Bell. His recent behavior is only problematic because it is so confusing and random and unexplained. Drake first found fame as a Nickelodeon star for the show Drake and Josh and has become a household name ever since. But in the last year, people noticed a change in his social media presence. He changed his usernames to Drake Campana with a Mexican flag emoji. I'm probably saying it wrong, but Campana is Spanish for bell, just in case you were wondering where that came from. It's unclear if he legally changed his name to that or if it is just for social media, but either way, people are hella confused. He started making music in Spanish in 2019, but now all of his social media is entirely Spanish, and it has been for a while now. All of his captions and tweets are written in Spanish, and rumors are claiming he actually changed his name and moved to Mexico. In the past, he has posted memes of him wanting to be Mexican instead of American, so the rumors could be true. But he has not released a statement explaining anything, and maybe that is the problematic part. I just really want to know why he wants to be Mexican so bad. I'm confused. Moving on to spot number 7 is Elon Musk. He is one of Amber Heard's ex-boyfriends, and he has been brought up in her lawsuit on more than one occasion. One of the reasons being that Amber was accused for potentially having an affair on Johnny with Elon. A concierge worker at the Eastern Columbia building, Alejandro Romero, said that he saw Elon visiting her while Johnny was in Australia. He said that he would visit often around 11 p.m. and that he provided him with his own fob so that he could access the building. Amber denied these claims and said she didn't speak to Elon at all during that time. So maybe Elon wasn't totally innocent in this either if they were seeing each other. Text messages also showed Elon offering Amber 24-hour security after she told him she wanted a restraining order against Johnny. Elon's text to her said, "I would arrange 24/7 security for you. The offer would stand even if you never wanted to see me again. The radio silence hurts a lot. It only matters because I really like you." His message could be interpreted that they were seeing each other, but then she went silent on him and then they stopped. And at number 6, we have Dixie D'Amelio. She was actually on our part 3 list with her sister Charlie for a different reason, but in more recent times she's getting cancelled right now for some different problematic behavior. After her sister Charlie got into an online feud with Trisha Paytas, Dixie thought it would be funny to do a TikTok dance to one of Trisha's songs. The only issue was Trisha was rapping the N-word in NWA's F the Police. Dixie's plan was to call her out for using the racial slur to try and prove that she has no business calling out her sister Charlie for poor behavior. But her plan backfired and people accused her of weaponizing racism. People said that she was making a joke about racism and that it is not funny. Trisha responded saying that the rap was 10 years ago and that she has apologized for it many times ever since, and that Dixie dancing to it in 2020 just wasn't cool. People pointed out that it was a white girl using the N-word with a smile on her face to try and hurt another white girl, and that it was racism to the core. Dixie has since deleted the video and apologized on Twitter, but it seems like her apology is not going over very well. Coming in at number 4 is Austin McBroom, the basketball player and famous YouTuber of the Ace family. family channel. I could list many moments in his career where he was facing backlash for his actions. In 2019, he was being dragged by the YouTube community after sexual assault allegations came out against him by a fellow YouTuber. He denied all the allegations and eventually just continued on with his career. But in more recent times, he was slammed after a video showed him yelling at his wife in front of his kids. His wife, Catherine McBroom, uploaded a video to their family channel of a day in the life filmed from her perspective. Their channel has more than 19 million subscribers and showcases their life with their 3 children. In the vlog video, an unedited clip that appeared to be accidentally left in showed Austin yelling and swearing at her about his hair. The clip was removed after he received all the backlash, and they went on Twitter to say that they get frustrated with each other sometimes and that it is marriage. But a lot of people didn't think that was a good excuse for his behavior. I mean, if you got to see it before it was removed, it was literally him yelling at her because he didn't like how his hair looked. No one should get that mad over their hair. Taking over the number 3 spot, we have James Franco. He has been blacklisted from Hollywood for years after he was accused of sexual harassment and assault by multiple women. And it was hard for him to plead his case since years before that, screenshots surfaced and showed him talking to an underage girl online trying to book a hotel room with her. So to say he has problematic behavior is an understatement. But even though he is gone from Hollywood, he is still making headlines for questionable behavior. He too was brought up in the Amber Heard lawsuit after Johnny accused Amber of having an affair with him. The concierge employee who I mentioned above also said that Amber had other visitors other than Elon Musk, and James Franco was one of them. Amber denied these allegations, but CCTV footage was used in court and it shows Amber going downstairs late at night to meet James in the lobby and go back upstairs together. She told the court that they were just talking. James continues to remain quiet on everything. Up next, number 2 is Logan Paul. He is taking some heat right now after a trend he started turned out to be a giant scam. He has set a trend in Hollywood recently for buying rare Pokemon cards, which later turned into this highly publicized Pokemon trading card game between other celebrities and influencers, including the rapper Logic. Logan was using a Pokemon advisor who had been valuing all his Pokemon cards for months on end, which had other people believe that these cards held a lot of value. Because of this, Pokemon cards prices had gone up significantly because the insane value that Logan was putting in his videos was pretty convincing. However, it turned out to be a scam and the cards were not worth what he had claimed. Logan thought he got a steal of a lifetime when he purchased an ungraded Pikachu Illustrator card, which was said to be worth $2 million, but sold to him at an auction for $234,000. But once he got the card, he realized it was fake. A lot of people actually think Logan knew the values that his advisor was claiming were not actually correct and that he was doing it for views and whatnot. Winning the number 1 spot is Sia. She's probably not who you expected to see at the number 1 place on this list because she's not usually the problematic type. But that might change depending on your opinion about her new movie coming out. She's releasing a movie called Music, which tells the story about an autistic teenager, but she cast someone non-autistic to play the part. The trailer was released on November 19th and the world went into a storm after they saw that Maddie Ziegler was going to take on the role. People lashed out online saying that the film appears to be filled with offensive stereotypes and visual effects that don't represent the autism spectrum properly. They also felt that it wasn't right to cast Maddie as the lead role. People are so mad that they've started an online petition to cancel the film's premiere, which is set to come out in February 2021. Sia responded saying that she actually tried to work with a young girl who was nonverbal on the spectrum, but that she found it to be unpleasant and stressful, in her words. She stands firm on her decision and says that her intentions are nothing but good. But I am curious to know what you guys think on this. Do you think they should cast someone who's on the spectrum? Do you think casting Maddie was, I don't know. I don't think it was meant to be like ill intentions, but let me know what you guys think. Up next, number 9, we have Noah Cyrus. The singer faced a ton of backlash recently after she tried sticking up for a fellow singer, Harry Styles. He was getting criticized after he posed on the Vogue cover in a dress, and Noah wanted to defend him and voice her opinion on social media. She shared one of his Vogue photos to her Instagram stories and wrote, "He wears this dress better than any of you nappy ass." Not only is the word nappy a very derogatory term for an entire race, but she was responding to Candace Owen, who had come after Harry for wearing this dress. After receiving a ton of hate online, Noah apologized and said she didn't know that nappy was a derogatory word and said that she thought it meant that they were tired. She said she was mortified that she used that word and explained, I quote, "I used a term without knowing the context." But a lot of people did not believe that she didn't know what the word meant. She may not have been trying to offend anyone. Honestly, I think it's up to you and what you believe on this. But I do find it hard to believe that she thought that word meant tired. Rolling into number 8, we have Joe Exotic. The Tiger King has been behind bars serving his 22-year sentence after being found guilty on 2 counts of murder for hire, 8 counts of violating the Lacey Act for falsifying wildlife records, and 9 counts of violating the Endangered Species Act. Reports confirmed that he had killed 5 innocent tigers and a horse and used them as food for the other tigers at his zoo. And we all probably know the famous story of him trying to hire someone to kill his enemy, Carol Baskin. But now he is asking for pardon by President Donald Trump before his term ends. His legal team is hoping that he will be considered after submitting a 257-page pardon application back in September. But recently, he actually reached out to Kim Kardashian, who is known for helping people out of prison when they deserve it, of course. In his letter, he asked her to telephone Donald Trump to speed up his case and said, "No one even has to know you did it." Now, his attorney said that he believes they are very close to receiving a presidential pardon, which a lot of people are not agreeing with since he was found guilty. How desperate you gotta be writing Kim Kardashian a letter. Making her way into spot number 7 is Bad Baby. The young rapper was canceled earlier this year after she went on Instagram Live back in April and said some racist comments. At that time, she was being accused of blackfishing in some of her photos, and on her Instagram Live, she was defending the fact that she was not trying to be black like people were saying, and asked the question, who wants to be black? For obvious reasons, a lot of people were offended by her comment, and she did not care to apologize. Since then though, she has taken a break from music and even went away to receive treatment after going through some personal hardships. She recently addressed all the issues back from April and officially apologized in a video saying that she never meant to offend anyone. There is no denying that her behavior was incredibly problematic and wrong, but I do have to give her some credit for apologizing and trying to make it right. It was all these months later, but that would still be a hard pill to swallow for her. In spot number 6, we have Lil Yachty. The Grammy-nominated rapper was taking the heat after he brought TikTok star Addison Rae into some of his lyrics. Addison is only 20 years old and is one of the biggest stars on the app. In one of his songs titled E.E.R., he rapped some lyrics that objectify her in a sexual way, and her fans were quick to call it disrespectful and disgusting. The lyrics say, "I want Addison Rae to become my doctor and check on my privates. Put her in a skirt and a scarf like a pilot." And then it gets raunchier, and I cannot say the rest on YouTube. But not only were her fans upset by this, so was Addison's boyfriend, Bryce Hall. The two men started having beef online, and it escalated for a bit before they decided to pair up on the Nelk Boys Twitch stream and talk it out. On the live stream, Lil Yachty apologized to Bryce for the lyrics, saying he understands why he would be upset by the lyrics, and said that he wrote it before they even started dating. He also said he was cool with Addison Rae, who never commented on this, by the way. It was just her boyfriend. Halfway through our list, number 5 is Letitia Wright. The Black Panther star has vanished from all social media after people started a trending hashtag cancel Black Panther 2. The reason that was trending was because she posted a video on social media which questioned the legitimacy of the COVID-19 vaccine. The video actually came from the YouTube channel On the Table, and not only questioned the vaccine, but also accuses China of spreading the virus and includes comments. She tweeted the link in a video with the prayer hands emoji, but after seeing the backlash, she quickly deleted it. Side note, YouTube has removed this video from the platform, so we cannot actually reference it. Since then, she has disappeared from all social media platforms, completely deleting her accounts. But she did apologize before doing that and said, "My intention was not to hurt anyone. My only intention of posting the video was it raised my concerns with what the vaccine contains and what we are putting in our bodies, nothing else." Even her co-star, Don Cheadle, said that he would not defend her posting it, but also said that he wouldn't throw her away because of it. Are people overreacting? Maybe a little bit. I think everyone can think whatever they want about the vaccine. However, that video was very and weird. In the 3rd spot is Kourtney Kardashian. This will all depend on whether or not you personally find this behavior problematic. It has been a very big debate online for months now, and a lot of people do not find it appropriate. People started raising eyebrows when Addison Rae and Kourtney were posting photos together in bikinis and hanging out every day as friends. Why it seemed so strange was because Addison being 19 at the time and Courtney being 41, people didn't understand their friendship. Fans started pointing out that their sexual bikini pics were inappropriate and that Addison is closer in age to Courtney's oldest son. Comments flooded their photos together asking what they possibly have in common with such an age gap between them, but that never bothered the two of them. They still continued to be best friends, and Courtney recently announced she will actually be showing up in Addison's new movie coming out, the He's All That remake, which a lot of people are finding really weird. At number 2, we have Nate Robinson. I can't be the only one who thinks this whole boxing thing is kind of becoming a joke. Sure, it is entertaining seeing some celebrities try and fight some legendary boxers, but I feel like the entertainment factor is being taken away from the actual sport. And Nate Robinson is just a prime example of what happens when non-boxers get inside that ring. If you missed the fight, Nate Robinson fought Jake Paul before the big Mike Tyson fight, and he got knocked out within the first 2 minutes of the fight. For months, we saw Nate talking smack online, saying how he was gonna knock Jake out and blah blah, and then he was brutally knocked unconscious and ended up needing medical attention. And now, famous YouTuber and Jake's older brother, Logan Paul, just confirmed that he will be fighting Floyd Mayweather in 2021. I feel like this shouldn't even be allowed at this point. People are going to get hurt. I understand that it's entertaining and I want to watch it, but it's completely taking away from the sport, and a lot of people are not happy right now that non-boxing celebrities are allowed in the boxing ring.